Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot little minute, but I honestly have not been watching. I haven't been watching anything, honestly, whether it be BL or anything. I haven't been watching any shows. Well, actually, I just started watching Abbott Elementary, but we're not here to talk about that today. Oh, wait, I did watch Duong with You. Okay, maybe I'll do a video on Duong with You. Also, not here to talk about that today. Today, we're going to be talking about what I actually have been doing, which is reading. I've been reading a lot of books, and I have a few here that I've read in the last 3 months, and we're just going to have a little chat about them. Some of them I really liked, some of them were hella mid. I will make a video on some books that I did not like at all, but I'm not going to do that in this video because I honestly didn't write those down. So I'm going to have to go back to figure out what those were because they have been completely wiped from my memory because they were that bad. Okay, so the first book we're going to talk about is Don't You Dare by C.E. Ritchie. And I see a lot of mixed reviews about this book online. I gave it a solid 9 out of 10 because it's one of my favorite tropes, which is friends to lovers, specifically a best friend to lovers. I eat that shit up. I love that. It's about Aspen and Keen, two best friends. One's I think in school for an architect, and the other is what the fuck? One's in school to be an architect, and the other is a baseball player, and I genuinely don't remember what he was studying in school. I think it was something basic like business, your typical jock major. But they're besties. They've been best friends since they were 8, childhood best friends. They bond over the deaths of their fathers, and Aspen has commitment issues, and Keen is the complete and total opposite. And Keen is trying to figure out his sexuality because he's attracted to his bestie, and he wants to know what's going on with himself. So Aspen offers to help Keen figure that out, and then of course they end up falling in love. Is the story predictable? Yes, I predicted everything correctly while I was reading it, but I didn't mind it because I don't mind predictability if it's actually good. So I wasn't pressed about it. Are the characters likable? I liked Keen. He was at fault for some things, but Aspen was number one super villain because the way he was shaking and moving sometimes, I was like, bro, this is not how you're supposed to be treating your best friend. But I understood, there was some depth to the characters, but it's a nice, easy, quick little read. I enjoyed it. I would read it again. I thought that it was written well. You can get through it super fast. Some people say it's boring. I didn't really think it was boring, but every book doesn't need a bunch of crazy-ish happening for it to be a solid read. So I'm going to stick beside my 9 out of 10 rating. Moving right along to Melt His Heart by Cherry Angels. She was solid. I liked this one. She was real cute. This one is about a hockey player named Carson and a figure skater named Julian who meet at the rink in New Jersey. Carson, like I said, he's a professional hockey player, captain of the team, and Julian is a figure skater who is trying to revamp his figure skating identity, I guess, because he wants to qualify for the Olympics. So he moves to be coached by the coach that's in New Jersey. And anyway, they cross paths, and Carson is green flag lover boy. Julian is a self-sabotaging, introverted workaholic who has never been in a relationship, Carson is a lot of firsts for Julian, but the story, she's real cute. It was an easy read. Again, I love a good, easy read that's actually written well and is really good. I gave this one a 9 out of 10 because I would reread it. Also, a lot of my higher scores have to do with, was it an easy read? And when I say an easy read, I mean I didn't have to keep stopping a million times to be like, bro, what the fuck is going on in this story? Or it was just easy to read. I don't know how to really better explain that. I know that's different for everyone, but like the plot has to be good, the characters have to be good. It just has to be easy to read, you know? But this was a good easy read. And they're both of the main characters, they're both Korean, so they bond over that, and I just think it was a nice perspective change for the two main characters to be people of color. That is my jam. And to see cultural differences because Carson's Korean American and Julian is Korean. So it's just a really nice book, and I would highly recommend it because it's not your typical like hockey figure skater book. She was real cute. Next is The Risk Taker. This is a hockey romance book. It follows, what are their names? Logan and Nathan. Logan is the typical party boy who doesn't take anything really too seriously. But there are a lot of different factors that you learn about Logan that explain his behavior. You know, Logan, he has some depth, which we figure out, of course, through the journey of the book. You know, there's always a reason why people are like the typical, like, fun, lighthearted party boy. And then Nathan is literally the complete opposite. Like, he's a stick in the mud, he follows the rules. He's the goalie of the hockey team, and his dad is the coach of the hockey team. And Lee just plays hockey because his dad not forced him to, but like low key, like I would say pressured him into doing it. He basically plays hockey for everyone else except himself because he actually wants to be like an artist. And Logan and Nathan are also roommates, and Logan loves to press Nathan's buttons. But then they have this deal where like they hook up, and then Logan offers to help Nathan kind of like figure out his sexuality, and of course they like fall in love. And obviously there's more that happens in between that, just like all the books, but I'm just giving you like a brief little outline to like make you maybe want to read it. I gave this book like an 8 out of 10 because I did like it, and I would reread it, and I feel like it was an easy read. I don't remember anything that stuck out that like irritated me. Like, I got through this like pretty fast. All the books that I'm talking about, like, I read them pretty quickly, and that's what I like about an easy read. Like these aren't books that like, oh, I couldn't put the book down because I needed to know what was going to happen next. But it's just like, it's like when you're reading a book and then you don't realize that like it's been 2 hours and you only have like two chapters left. That's what I mean, I guess, when I say an easy read. Did I say who this book was by? It was by Stephanie Alves. But yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I would definitely reread it. And these will probably be the last three books that I talk about. And I'm going to talk about all three of them because they're a part of a series. The first two, Garen Park and Lot 62. These books are about Maddox and Devin. I gave Garen Park a 7.5 out of 10, and I gave Lot 62 a 7 out of 10. And it follows, like I said, Devin and Maddox. They are trailer park boys. They're enemies to lovers, and I like these books, and the reason I gave them both a 7.5 and a 7 is because I'm not gonna lie, I probably would not reread them purely because enemies to lovers is not my favorite, but I feel like sometimes it's done correctly. But this is just a personal preference. Enemies to lovers is not my favorite, and I don't really like their dynamic just in general. Like when they like each other, like, yeah, it was cute, but like there are a lot of aspects of their dynamic that personally, not saying that the book is not good, but personal preference, I was not a huge fan of their dynamic and this type of enemies to lovers read. But I did appreciate that this was not such a, I don't know, fluffy, happy go lucky. Like, it was very angsty, very hurt comfort, very gritty, and I really liked that. I just was not super into the way that Maddox and Devin, their communication style, didn't really do it for me. The, I guess the violence or the aggressiveness of them Yeah, I just wasn't really super into their dynamic, but it does not take away from this actually being a very well written and good book, and it has a ton of fans, and I definitely understand why. Their brothers had me cracking up, which leads me to their book, Knock Knock, which I did like way more. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I probably would reread Knock Knock, which is why it got an 8. And also, Hello, Best Friends to Lovers, which is my favorite trope, so obviously it's gonna score higher, but it still has the grittiness, the rawness, the realness, the trailer park, but I just liked Zavi and was it Nate? Yeah, Zavi and Nate a bit better than Devin and Maddox. And of course, it's because their dynamic is one that, hello, it's best friends. So I just like that dynamic a little bit more. And I did like the juxtaposition of like their environment and the relationship of their brothers and how they were, because they were just like the most, it was like rough around the edges but still like lovey-dovey, like super cute fluff, you know. Yeah, I definitely do recommend reading all three books though, because I feel like if you're really into like romance books, I feel like the Garen Park and the Lot 62, those two books I see recommended all the time, but I rarely ever see people recommending Knock Knock, and I get it. Like, I guess because Garen Park and Lot 62, the story is like heavier and darker, and Knock Knock is a bit more lighthearted and it has a bit more humor in it. But I liked all three books. Oh, yeah, and I totally forgot to mention the freaking author. These were written by Nordica Knight. Yeah, I'm gonna end it on that series, and I will definitely make another video, so stay tuned. Bye.